Hello, everybody. Welcome to LT Outdoors Sunday Night Live. I'm going to share this real quick on Facebook for all them Facebookers. Let's see. All right. Of course, I got the turd here waiting to see. Hey, Don. How you doing, buddy? Hey there, Neil. Oh, God. Little puppy dog. Hey, Kevin. How you doing, man? Hey there, Rob. Yeah, snow's melting fast. So is the ice, sadly. It's kind of a messed up week. Hey, Mike. Good evening. Braden. Braden says, jammers. Jammers. Tail's going. Little turd. Hey, Mark. How you doing, buddy? Hey there, Richard. Good evening. Hey there, John. Now tonight, guys, I've got some of my ice tackle here. I want to show you guys some of the new stuff from Widowmaker, as well as all my favorite lures for the season. And I've even got some plastics here to show you guys. Hey, Rick. Rick says, hi, jammers. 255 miles today. Dang. There you go, man. At least you got out and had some fun before the snow went. Hey there, Barry. Hey, Johnny. I'm doing okay, man. How are you? Hey there, Richard. Good evening, Scott. Hey, Jen. Jen says, hi, jammers. Hi, jammers. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, dude? My Sunday's been a little bit eventful. I was out deer hunting. I've got some stories to tell you guys. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up. There's 33 of you watching and only 8 thumbs up right now. Big baby dog. Oh, she's a horse. I am wearing I've got a new Widowmaker t-shirt on. They have awesome t-shirts and stuff, guys. If you haven't checked out their website, I recommend it. Honestly, their t-shirts are the most comfy. They're stretchy. They're pretty awesome. But yeah, tonight I was out deer hunting, guys. I've been doing a little bit of deer hunting, trying to get a big buck for the end here as like a last minute thing. And I have been seeing some nice deer, so working at it. Been getting a lot of does up close. I mean, I could have shot God knows how many deer by now, but thank you, John. Hey, sis, how you doing? Hey there, Carl. Good to see you too, buddy. Hope you're doing good. Thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. I appreciate it. I'll do the, before I forget, I'll start this week's challenge. Like I said, last week I had, what's that for, Jen? I'll have to see what that's all about. Thank you, Jen. I'm going to play this real quick for you guys. Maybe. If I can get it to play. I had it playing before I got on tonight. Let me get this going. Of course, that's not it. That's obviously a child. It's going to make me watch a dang ad. There we go. All right. And yes, that is the same animal. It sounds like there's a coon in there, but there's not. I will tell you that much. Got it before I said something, Mark. Nope. It is the same animal making that noise and the scream. All right, I want to show you guys some of my favorite lures here tonight. I want to say welcome to everybody that's on here right now. Go ahead and guess all you guys want on what I just played. We'll see who wins it. I pay attention, so I see all you guys chatting as it goes along. As you can see, this is my Nicole Stone tackle box, one of many. Also, this is probably my favorite because it holds all your jigging wraps and stuff like that. But right now I want to show you, I have it packed up. This is all Widowmaker lures, and I've got some of their brand new ones in here that I'd really like to show you guys. I'm pretty excited about these, especially these new colors. They have some just gorgeous, look at this. Now this jig right here, this is their new mega dropper. Now you can look at the size. Those smaller ones in here, those smaller ones, those are 5 mil. So look how big these are. They're huge. I don't know. I'm gonna guess they're 10 or something. I don't know how big they are, but they're super. They're a lot bigger. They're heavier, and that hook right there, if you ask me, it is absolutely perfect for a walleye minnow. Now, hear me out. Dead sticking is definitely hands down one of the best ways to walleye, especially the pickier ones. This hook is just long enough right here to put through the lips of a walleye minnow, and this dropper is definitely heavy enough to hold it down there so that it's dead sticking. But at the same time, you're going to get all that pretty color as well as glowing. These things glow really good. These are all glow lures. Again, you can look here at the bottom. Those big ones are the mega droppers. The ones up here are your normal 5 millimeter tungsten jigs. Now these are their new tungsten mega droppers, and the colors. Not only are the colors beautiful, but yeah, they're perfect for a walleye minnow. I think dead sticking this year. I'm excited to do that. I haven't really done any dead stick videos, so I'm excited to do that now and show you guys how it works. But those lures right there are going to be killer for walleye. Oh, well, thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. And thank you for sending our lures. Thank you for that, Rob. I appreciate you guys. Hey there, Tom. How you doing, dude? I'm doing all right. Been busier than hell, that's for sure. Yeah, these are all your main droppers. Now, I will say this too: the smaller, the 5 millimeter dropper is. They have some awesome jigs, but the 5 mil dropper is probably my favorite when it comes to fishing for panfish. Crappies destroy these things. They're really good. They glow for a long time. Widowmakers definitely got it down with their colors. They're awesome, but this is what they call their droppers. So make sure you go to widowmaker.com and check them out. I love their droppers. That is definitely my favorite of their jigs. They do have some really cool jigs, but the dropper is hands down my favorite. They would be for sure, Jim. Yeah, they'd be nice. Hey there, Jimbo. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was actually really upset with that video, Jimbo, because I don't even think I broke 300 something views. I mean, it's the worst. That makes me mad. I put the work into that. What's up, Nathan? How you doing? Now on this side, I have their new Whirly jigs, which is one I want to show you guys tonight. Their shrimp. Their shrimp is one of my favorites. They got 3 jigs that are my favorites, and that's the dropper, the shrimp, and the dragonfly. So I'm going to show you guys these tonight. They're definitely all excellent for ice fishing. Oh yeah, no, you can't scare Rob. You cannot scare a fish with a prop. There's no way. In fact, the prop lures have been my best ice fishing jig since I was 6 years old. I always use the K&E fairy jig, which it's got flood. What are they? They're little tiny Colorado blades on that fairy jig, but they work amazing because fish in general want to see that flash. That makes them think there's a minnow there. They see that shine and that flash, they're automatically drawn to it. So these jigs right here are going to be amazing for anything. And yes, bluegills even love minnows. So you got that little flash down there. You could throw a wax worm on here or your favorite plastic, which I'm going to show you guys those. But this is their new Whirly bug or Whirly jig that they got. It's basically their caddis jig with a helicopter blade on the top. And I really think these are going to be good. They come in great colors too. Just like all the other lures they've got, they all come in really nice colors. Even their plain gold, I think, is going to be destructive with that little blade. That's going to be fun. So this is one of the newest lures they've got out right now, along with that jumbo, um, that new large tungsten. So yeah, the jumbo dropper and this Whirly jig. They've also got a new tungsten bugger, they call them. Now, it's like, if you guys know flies, you know what a woolly bugger is. Now, these are basically tungsten style woolly boogers. They've got the fly stuff on them. And yeah, they're basically tungsten woolly boogers. Hey there, Dennis. Definitely cool jigs. Definitely cool jigs. Yep. I should have had brought my old school ones up here so I could show you from K&E. I mean, yes, they're not Widowmaker, but K&E's got some really nice product too. If you followed me last year while I was ice jigging, I used a lot of these dragonflies by Widowmaker. These things worked phenomenal with a wax worm or a plastic. I was using, my favorite to use on these is the Frogman. Again, if you guys follow me, you know what a Frogman is by Freedom Baits. They fit perfectly on these little dragonflies. The hooks are just really nice. They're really nice thin hooks, but you can actually thread. I mean, I could push it way up there if I wanted, but the cool thing about these dragonflies, they've got the long base on them, so you can actually slide your plastic up further, so it ain't going to come off as easy. But it also just has a really great look to it. And that bend, I mean, you get a really nice jig motion out of this. I show them off in my videos last year on the underwater camera. So if you want to see how the dragonflies work, check them out. And again, Freedom Baits Frogman, if you don't have them in your bucket, get them. I could use these alone all winter. I don't need another bait. The Frogman gets it done. I have a couple more favorites here, but the Frogman is definitely my jam. What, you big turd dog. You can see Demmer's nose. I also have here, yeah, the Frogmans are amazing. Hey there, Joe. I also have their Tungsten shrimp. Now, the shrimp, I mean, this lure's been around forever, right? There's been many companies that have done them. However, I don't think there's another company making these out of tungsten. So that is something that they only have, I believe. And their colors, again, I know some idiots out there are like, oh, colors don't matter. They catch fishermen. I've seen a few of those comments on my stuff, and I just push them to the side. Because if that was the case, I wouldn't do better on one color than I do another. It's always good to have lots of colors. It's always good to swap them up. What I love about Widowmaker and how they do this is they've got one side will have your little eyes on them, like the original shrimp from a lot of companies, but then their back side will have all those cool colors. So, yeah, it's definitely a good jig, and it is really good for using a small, because that's a small jig. So that is good for your microplastics. I've got a few of them right here. This is one of my favorite of the micros from Freedom Baits. This is their Hornet. Okay, the Hornet's amazing. Basically looks like a wiggler in the water, dragonfly nymph, something like that. I'm going to show you. Okay, they are really small, but on these shrimp, these things work amazing. Because, you know, when you're using a tiny plastic, a microplastic, you don't want to put it on a big hook. I mean, that's just going to look gaudy and it ain't going to look natural. But something like this, look at that right there, guys. That is absolutely perfect. And just like I say when I'm talking about bass fishing, you pretty much want your jig of any kind to go halfway through the bait, which this does. And then you've got that beautiful tail. This thing works amazing. In fact, I'm going to put, it's already perfect. I'm going to put it right back in the box with that plastic on it so she's ready to roll. But yeah, tungsten shrimp, I think, go perfectly with the little Hornets from Freedom Baits. So make sure you match what you're using. You know, for bigger lures, not sure what you said there, Rick. Unless you said Thor, maybe. They also have bigger jigs. This is their Cannonball. Now, I have really fallen for their Cannonball, especially during the summer months. It's a good casting jig. However, it is also the perfect hook for their Bonita, which that is probably my second favorite out of all the Freedom Baits. This is a tiny split tail minnow, and these little Cannonball Widowmaker jigs are absolutely perfect. Just an absolute perfect match. Again, it goes halfway down that body, which is what you want. Basically, if it's sticking too far out, you're going to miss a lot of fish. They're going to get the tail end of it, and that's it. If it's halfway through, most of the time those fish are taking half of it. So, but yes, the Cannonball by Widowmaker is definitely what I would recommend. Even if you want to use regular minnows, this is also a good one for dead sticking, like we talked about with their new mega droppers. This would be a good jig choice if you're wanting to do dead sticking for perch, even, because a perch minnow would fit absolutely perfect on that one. But yeah, the Bonita is a very hard to beat plastic, guys. I mean, every fish that swims will eat a minnow. I don't care what, I mean, it could be a little dinky fish. I guarantee they're going to take a minnow, as long as they can fit it in their mouth. And yes, bluegills eat the absolutely love these bonitas. So again, bonitas, frogmen, and hornets are my top 3 favorites from Freedom Baits. So if you guys order any of these plastics, these are the ones that I recommend, is the hornet, the frogman, and the bonita. Absolute killer baits. And they work on, there you go, Rick. I think you're having a hard time on that new phone. The number 8. Oh yeah, they change on hook. Yep. I don't remember weight though. I don't remember the weight on those mega droppers, but yes, they go up to number 8 hooks. But again, the mega dropper, also mega dropper with a bonita, you could totally do that, especially if you're in an area where the fish are very active. If you're in an area where you need to slow down, I would use a lighter thing so you get a slow presentation. But with this heavier jig and the bonita, you can really bounce the heck out of this. You can get a lot of action out of a heavy jig in that bonita. You can pound the bottom, you can jig like crazy, whatever you want to do. If the fish are that active, the mega dropper will work great with a plastic like this bonita. But again, I do want, as much as I love using nothing but plastics, I want to use the mega dropper with some live minnows to show you guys, just teach you how to dead stick. Because dead sticking, again, 9 times out of 10, it'll beat tip ups and stuff when it comes to walleye. Dead sticking is just a killer way to fish them. But yes, those are some of my new favorites here. I've also got some of my jigging wrap style lures that I'd like to show you guys. It's quarter after pretty much. I'm going to play that again for you guys. You guys might, if you don't know it, you might be amazed at what actually does that. Yeah, I was gonna say, with the temperatures we've got right now and the rain that we're getting, ice might not even be good up here, second floor, to be honest with you. It's starting to go crazy here. I'm really bummed because we were trying. Hey, BK, we were trying. Me and Rick got out. We drove all over the freaking place. The one day I drove, that first ice check I did for you guys, I drove almost 4 hours checking ice. So I hope you guys appreciate what I'm doing there. Hey there, Cold Snap. How you doing, buddy? But yes, I am trying hard for you guys to get you the best info I can on the ice. Like I said, almost 4 hours the one day and probably 3 hours the other day too. So I heard you did, Cold Snap. You're killing me, man. The UP I heard is good, has some good ice, and obviously Minnesota, Wisconsin. Yeah, that's our problem. We're not cold enough right now. We're not. I mean, it's cold. Don't get me wrong. It's, I froze my butt off today up in the tree stand, but it's definitely, we're getting up in the mid to high 30s almost daily now. And again, we got a couple 40s here and there, and that's not good. So, hey, Nikki, how you doing, buddy? -10. See, that's what we need. As much as I know people would complain, that is exactly what we need here in Michigan to get our ice to set in perfect. Now I'm going to show you guys. Again, this is probably my favorite stone box because this box is made exactly for what's in it. Jigging wrap style lures and jigging spoons. They work great. So I'm going to show you guys here. My favorite out of the jigging wrap style, I used to use, jigging wrap comes from the name Jigging Rapala, and that is what I used to use religiously. However, I found a couple years ago, this is made by Clam. This is their Tika minnow. Hands down better made than a Rapala jigging wrap. Sorry, Rapala, but yes, the Tika minnow not only has way better color patterns, they have the red hook. They also have a clip at the bottom on that hook, so you could swap it out if you wanted to put a different hook on there. It's made just the same as a jigging Rapala, though. I do think the wing holds up a little better, but the jigging Rapala is a great style lure. This is the Tika minnow again. This is not jigging Rapala. However, I want to show you guys this. I thought was really neat. This is one of Freedom Baits plastics here. Last year I took this plastic, I tore the bottom off. This is the bottom half of one of their plastics, and I put it on just like that. Now that right there, water. You've got your head right there, some fins, and these could be the guts. Used it on walleye last year. They work great, guys, because most of the time when I'm fishing jigging wrap style lures, I like to use a minnow head. Minnow heads are awesome on them, but I wanted to start trying to learn new plastics and stuff, and I'm telling you, that worked really good right there. So you can even throw the frogman. I've done that. The frogman on the bottom of that Tikka minnow works really well too. Yeah, definitely smaller presentations. These Tikas, they come in lots of. I've got even the big Tikas, but um, like for instance, when I'm down at Saginaw River, for some of you Saginaw junkies on here, the Saginaw River tends to be the smaller you can get to drop down in the winter, the better. You could throw big old, I hear these guys bragging all the time about their big old J, whatever, the big heavy jigging rapalas. I mean, even stuff like this I've used, but there's a big size difference. You in the Saginaw River, you only want to use the weight needed to get down there because I'm telling you, the smaller you can get down there, the more bites you're going to get. Those walleyes in the winter, they're not as active as they are in the summer. You want everything is different in the winter than they are the summer. So you want to slow your presentations down and you want to size down. And I'm telling you right now, the smallest that you can get to stay vertical in the Saginaw, that's the big thing. You got to stay vertical, but the smallest that you can get to stay vertical down there, the better you're going to do. If you watch some of my jigging videos in the Saginaw River over the past couple years, smaller is better every single time that I've been down there. There is times, however, where I have needed large lures like this one right here, heavy stuff, because sometimes the current in that river is just totally ripping and you got to use heavier stuff. Like this right here is actually a jigging Rapala. Like I said, the Tikka minnow is basically a copycat of the original jigging Rapalas. However, the Tikka is better, I feel, in every way. As even with colors, I think Clam really has it going on with their color patterns. So definitely good stuff, which again, color does matter. I know some people don't think that, but that's definitely money. They are great. Wonder Bread, yeah, the Wonder Bread Tikka actually is on my jigging rod right now. Me and Rick were jigging with stuff yesterday, and that's the one that I have on my rod. Hey Lisa, how you doing? Hi Pupper Dog. Now this right here, you guys should already know. If you watch my show, you know what this is. This is my Drunken Dizzy jigging spoon. These are no different than a buckshot jig, except I think they're louder. So if you're looking for a jigging spoon, I highly recommend going on my website and buying some of these. They're a lot cheaper than you're going to find buckshots and other stuff like that. I make them myself. They're very loud, and they come in a lot of different colors. Like this one here, bright gold. This is North, was it North Peak? They're all beer companies, but North Peak here has a really nice shiny gold. Pretty much my favorites for these Drunken Dizzies are gold and chrome. However, I have lots and lots of colors. If you go through, you can see a bunch on the back wall right back there. I have millions of Drunken Dizzies, but I'm telling you guys, you have to try these. Now, again, same thing. Jigging spoons and jigging wraps and stuff, I like to use a minnow head. If you put a minnow head on this baby, the walleyes and stuff are going to smoke it, pike, trout, everything else. Again, you can also use plastics, though. You don't have to use live bait. And these right here, if you don't believe me that they work, watch my first season of LT Outdoors. That is all I used during the first season was these. That's it. I was making them and I was trying to advertise. I caught a 20-inch brook trout. My biggest ever was on one of these. It was on a Pabst Blue Ribbon. Again, it's like a chrome, great color for them. It has some red on it too. I've caught salmon on these things. I've caught a lot of pike, walleye, perch. Love them. These are absolute perch killers. And believe it or not, I make these hooks. I put small enough hooks on here where you can put one wax worm on one of these and you're going to catch a bunch of bluegill. The bluegill love them too. They don't care that it's an oversized bait. They see the flash and they're going to come up, check it out. If you've got a waxy or a plastic on the bottom of one of these hooks, they are going to smoke it, guaranteed. And again, if you don't believe me, go back and watch my first seasons of LT Outdoors on here back when my camera sucked back then. But caught a lot of fish. So thank you, Cold Snap. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad that you finally got to see them. I make these out of bottle caps. I have tons. I mean, I've probably got 300 different styles of them. But yes, they're copper BBs for BB guns. I buy big bottles of them, and I throw 3 to 4 in every single cap. And they're all a little different too. You'll notice because I have to squish them all with pliers. I don't have machines, so they're all a little different. You gotta wax the fish for a hooker? What you talking about, Matt? It is a good way, yeah. And that's what I did. I actually went to all the bars and they were saving them for me. So, yeah, I was able to, collect all these and have lots of them. Yep, was a coaster, Jimbo. Absolutely. And I hate myself for letting it go. I love that fish so much that I released it. And, looking back, really wish I would have got it mounted. It would have been amazing on my wall. Now I'm going to show you guys, this is other than my own drunken dizzies, when the fish are a little more finicky, I like a slender presentation, and this right here is the Northland Forage Minnow Jigging Spoon. They also make the buckshot that I told you has the rattles in it, like my jig, but the difference is they're a lot thinner, okay? These things are a lot thinner, and they flash around a lot. They're excellent. Again, with this before I started making my own jigs, this was my number one. I would take this out all the time, and the Northland jigging spoons right here were my number one, especially this hot orange. The hot orange was my favorite, and they just started, it's been a couple years, but they started making them Wonder Bread as well. So the foraged minnow jigging spoons are amazing for trout, panfish, bass, pike, walleye, you name it, you can get them on these Northland forged minnow jigging spoons. Now, just like my rattle caps there, I feel like people should have at least one of all these in their box. Have one foraged spoon, one of my drunken dizzies, one jigging wrap, because these are all lures that I can guarantee you will do good. And you can look right here. This is how small. This is the smallest Northland jigging spoon right here. I try to buy, again, I like small stuff. And if you look compared to the one I showed you before, it's tiny. But this is killer for big bluegill. You want to get into some big bluegills, use these little forage minnow spoons. It's amazing. All you got to do is just twitch them, pause, twitch them, pause. Those big old fish will come in and smoke them. All right, I'll play that sound again here. Oh, I gotta help somebody, but I'll wait till after this. But yeah, that's what I was gonna do. All right, now this box here, this backside, I've got it just chucked to the rim with, again, oh, I do have one of those. You were talking about the Wonder Bread. Here you go. This is the Wonder Bread Tikka minnow. Absolutely perfect. Their color patterns are amazing. I don't think they can be beaten. Tikka is definitely great when it comes to that stuff. Jigging Rapala does make little bitty ones too, though. If you want to try them, they have like the classic Fire Tiger, which is what this one is, as well as other cool colors. They've been coming out with different brighter colors over the years, but the Tikka, they've got so many really cool color patterns, and I just think they're hard to beat. The flash of these things look awesome in the water. And this right here is the tiniest Tikka that they make. That is the smallest Tikka minnow. I've got them in all different colors because, again, if I can get away with using something that small and keep it vertical, the walleyes are going to eat it. Basically, these are just little pretty minnows down there. So you get a minnow down there that's got more color than a real minnow, and they go right for it. This right here, guys, this is the Macho Minnow. It's another one made by Northland. It's kind of like the forage minnow. It's a little thicker though, and it's more. If you guys know the original cast masters, that's what these are basically. It's a cast master, but they got this little flicker on here, this little blade. It's like a minnow tail, flips around a lot. I've had times when I've been down in the Saginaw River, and these might not be walleye are being picky that day. It seems like jigging spoons in general do better. Um, it seems like they do better when the jigging wraps and that are not working so good. So it's um, definitely worth having a bunch of these in your box. I couldn't have enough of them. The Ford or the Northland forage minnow and the macho minnow, both really great baits. You can't get enough of them. There's also this one here. This is the puppet minnow. I can't remember who makes this one, but the puppet minnow is a kind of a different profile here. As you can see, it's got a bend to it. It does bounce a lot. It swims different than your tikas or your um, jigging wraps, but it's still a good bait. It's heavy in the head. It's really heavy in the head of this thing, so it sinks like this. It's not. It doesn't stay straight. It actually sinks head first down, which works great. And again, on these, I also like to put a minnow head on the hook or use some of the plastics that you like. There's a lot of ways to do this, but basically, you want to have some kind of bait down there on that hook to really draw them in. And again, here's some of the original jigging wraps. I mean, they come in all the original Rapala colors, like you could get in countdowns and everything else. They make them in these as well. But if I had to choose one jigging wrap style lure, it would hands down be the Tika Minnow. Hey Dre, no, the Lakers don't really come in there because it's so shallow. There's definitely a lot better places to ice fish for Lakers. If I were to pick one place, I would say Tawas Bay. Tawas Bay is definitely better for lake trout. So if you're into that kind of thing or looking to do it, go in there because yeah, where I seen you, it's shallow. It really is. The deepest that gets is like 12 feet tops, and it's shallow at the mouth too. Those Lakers don't want to come up into that. But where you're talking to, Dre, it's not froze either. It's actually the winds have been keeping that open, along with a lot of our other bigger lakes. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Hope you're having a good weekend. Now, one more lure I want to show you guys tonight, and this is another one that I make. It's obviously nothing crazy, but what makes these special, I put a weighted bead on these. These are my tip-up ice fishing harnesses. I like to use these for perch. They are very destructive on perch and walleye. I started fishing Hubbard Lake several years ago, and I realized that most of the guys on Hubbard use tip-ups. Even for the giant perch you see pictures of online, they're using their tip-ups. So I started making a harness like this, and it's actually tied off. I'm going to open it. I don't care. I got more. I tie it off at the steel bead because I don't want all that mess to be at my minnow. I want that minnow to be in its own little area. This stuff here is only for a tractor. And I use a nice circle hook on there, which is great to put through the back of your grays or your blues of your shiner minnows. But I'll tell you, you take a walleye minnow, hook that right behind the head. I don't go very far back, and you don't want to go much through, or you'll mess up the spine on them, and then they're dead. But you put that through the back of that minnow, and I'm telling you, it's going to swim like crazy until something eats it. It's going to be good to go. And it flashes this around down there. I really like the orange because, if I'm fishing a spot that has Lakers, trout of any kind, salmon, obviously you get that kind of egg factor out of the orange blade. So I do sell these also on my website. That's LToutdoorsLureCo.com. These are the Jumbo Slammer tip-up harnesses. They're cheap, and they're made with quality Berkeley trilene. They're not going to break on you, especially for perch and stuff. The only way they're going to break is if you got a pike or something bites it off. But hey, Paul, how you doing, brother? All right, I'll play that sound again real quick. uh, There you go. Played it again. Like I said, guys, this week I was trying to dedicate it to ice fishing. Robert got it right. Did you guys use the sound thing again on Google, Rob? Not very many people know that one because it's such a little tiny animal, doesn't? Yes, it is a weasel. Yep, it is a weasel. Believe it or not, that is the sound that the weasels make. It's very, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Hey Brian, how you doing, buddy? I hope you can get up here someday, Paul. I don't. One day in the next few years would be cool. Guessing and remembering your boxes. Well, I never, even in the boxes, I never had one scream. But I've been trying to dedicate this week to ice fishing. If you guys watch my videos, I did two, not one, but two ice fish checks or ice checks where we traveled all over. We went to Fletcher's, Grand Lake, Long Lake, traveled all over Iosco and Alcona counties, checking Jewel and Alcona Pond and all these other lakes. And I did find some lakes that were getting close, but I'm going to warn you right now, the temperatures have been a little too warm and we're getting that dang rain on top of it. I Rick, I don't know if you've seen it, but we got 2 more days coming this week in the 40s. So it's not good, guys. I really, Mother Nature pulled this crap on us last year and it drives me nuts. I wish we could just have another season like the back in the day where it was just cold for a long time and ice sticks around till end of March. I literally ice fished into April on some of them years, guys. I'm not even joking. And anymore, we don't even have ice in March. It's really sad. I'm really hoping that we get some ice. Not very many people do, John. Yeah, it's something you don't really see. You don't get to hear them often. I've had them scream at me before. Before I started making videos, I've had them where in my weasel boxes they might be caught by the back end or something, and yeah, they're gonna scream when you get up there. It's very loud. Definitely bring your rifle, Scott, because this week's not looking good. We're getting again, warm temps, mid 30s, high 30s. Yes, there are a couple. We got days that are in the 20s and lows in the teens, however, but it doesn't matter. You get these warm days and especially rain. If you guys didn't know, rain really eats the ice. It does. It literally eats away at the ice, kind of like an underflow current under the ice will eat it. It's water on the ice is not good. It hurts it. Hunting's been going pretty good, Dre. Thanks for asking. I've already, if you watch my videos, I shot a buck and I shot a doe. But I'm really trying right now to get a big buck. I'm trying to get, this is my buck from earlier from this year. Most of the bucks I have hanging in my house are like him. I've never gotten a true monster, so I'm trying my hardest. The other day, I was out on a freezing day. The winds were blowing in my face, and so was a blizzard. I hated every minute of it until the deer come out. Then it kind of warmed me up. But I'm really working my butt off to get a good buck. Today, I was out this evening, and I seen definitely one of the craziest buck fights that I've ever seen. There was 2 bucks. I knew they were bucks to begin with because they were pushing deer all around out there. I was worried they were going to come here. That's who texted me. So the dogs are going to freak out. I apologize, you guys. Um, but yes, tonight the dogs are. See, this is messing me up. Tonight when I was out there, I seen that there was a couple deer chasing the other deer around, pushing them around. I knew that those had to be bucks. And then sure enough, towards the end there, they locked up and they just went at it hard. They were throwing each other. Ruby! They were throwing each other around really bad, and it was definitely crazy to see. So I've never seen a fight quite so bad. Usually when they're fighting, I just see them kind of play fighting. But this was, and it went on for at least a half an hour. Now, the sad thing, again, I got to get a good camera eventually, guys. I do the best I can with what I got, but my cameras aren't the greatest. And when I'm filming with the GoPro, those deer tonight were 400 or 500 yards, maybe more. They look like ants. So even though I can see them and hear them and everything, the stupid GoPro is not going to pick them up. So I'm hoping that eventually I can get a good, a better quality camera that I can go further with and stuff, because I've been seeing some pretty awesome stuff, but again, the GoPro doesn't really pick up that stuff. So big fawns in heat. I don't know. I mean, yeah, the younger ones go into heat later, but it could be does and stuff too. They were chasing everybody. I don't even know if anybody was actually in heat, because they were trying and everybody was running, and then the bucks started fighting, and I think that was they were far enough away. I'm gonna tell you this: they were, like I said, 400 or 500 yards minimum, but I could hear all the clanking of their antlers from that distance. There's no way it was a small buck at that far away. Yeah, probably what it was, but it was not fawns. If you're saying it was fawns that were fighting, it wasn't. They were big bucks. Fawns aren't going to be able to push everybody around. When these two deer entered the field from two different areas, everybody in the field lit up. Everybody was moving around. Little bucks were running. There's definitely some good stuff going on out there. Yeah, too far away for a GoPro or phone. That is very true, and if you know, you know. That's all I use. No, I was using a rifle, Dre. Right now is actually muzzleloader season, and in the state of Michigan, especially our area, you can now use any rifle you want during muzzleloader. It's a little ridiculous. I don't know why they don't call it late rifle now or something, because they basically got rid of muzzleloader. That was the fun traditional way to hunt, but yeah, but yes, I was out there with my 30-06 again, and I'm trying. I'm really trying to get a last minute big buck here. So, but yeah, as far as cameras go, though, guys, I have a hard time getting good video footage. That's for sure. Well, hopefully you have good luck tomorrow, Dre. I've seen, up here it's supposed to be raining tomorrow. I don't like to hunt in the rain. Yes, you could shoot a deer with a rifle and it drops, but it also might not. And I just don't like the idea of losing one. But Tuesday is supposed to be beautiful, so I'm trying to plan on Tuesday for sure. Yeah, they're definitely still rutting, Dre. Yep, we got some late rut going on. So if you do go out, bring yourself some estrus and at least the doe bleat. You definitely want to have a doe bleat with you. I'm gonna try Tuesday to hike out from my house. All right, I was already probably a quarter mile back where I sat tonight. It's probably another 3/4 of a mile across the field where I got to get to those deer. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make that hike. I'm gonna hide in the woods. Yeah, for sure. And Jim, the day before today, or maybe it was 2 days ago. Yeah, because me and Rick messed around fishing yesterday. But 2 days ago, I was out and I sat actually where I sat 2 days ago is where these deer were tonight. And that day, 2 days ago, they were over where I was tonight. So like they're wherever I want to be, they're going to be somewhere else. So it kind of sucks, but yeah, I'm gonna try to make the big hike and get to them. I'm definitely putting in the work. But the other day when I hunted them, the same kind of thing happened, except there was only one big deer pushing, and again, too far for me to see. But I was watching him he comes out slow. He walks with his head down like he has no care in the world. Deer are running from him. That tells me that it's a mature buck. No matter what, even if you guys can't see horns, if you see that kind of stuff happening, you can guarantee it's going to be a mature buck doing that stuff. I did have a bunch of young bucks out the other day. I had at least a 4. All I could see was the 2 on one side, and it was hard for me not to shoot it because I want to get a good 4 on the wall, but I think I can do bigger. So I'm really just trying to be picky. But I did see a lot of bucks the other day. Tonight I had, a spike was the only thing close to me, but it was only, 50 yards. I could smoked it with a gun. But again, I don't like shooting spikes or little bucks. If I shoot a buck, I try to make sure it's a worthy buck. So thank you, sis. Yeah, if you guys haven't already, please hit that thumbs up. I appreciate you. I'm really putting in the work. because like I said, I was just out deer hunting for 4 hours in that cold, and my lungs are still hurting from walking back across that field. It's a long hike. Oh, it's tough, John. But see, that's the problem though. Being across the field, you can't drive in in the fields, because even though they don't have it planted, they don't like having ruts or anything in their field. So that's what makes it tough. Same thing goes when I shoot a deer. Like the last deer that I shot, it was a half mile or more away, and I had to go drag the sled all the way across that field to get that deer and drag him back because I can't drive nothing out there. So I've been trying to, Paul, but man, oh man, I'm really getting fed up with our winters. I was feeling good. I thought for sure this weekend, but tomorrow, well, today was way too warm. We lost all our snow today, and that's gonna not only. I mean, it's good, I guess, to get rid of the snow that's on the ice. However, the warm temps like this, and the rain and crap like that, it's gonna eat away the ice too. So it really messes it up. I am hoping. I almost called you yesterday, Paul, because me and Rick were actually fishing down your way on the ice. But the guy that told me about the ice conditions turned out to be full of crap because he told me he sputted his way out and it never cracked. So being smart, I should have went out and checked the ice before I listened to that because all I did was walk out like nothing was wrong. I drill and it was about 2 inches of ice. We fished on 2 inches of ice yesterday for quite a while, and it was not worth it at all. I mean, even if we were catching fish, I don't know if it'd be worth it to be on that thin ice. So I am pulling myself back. I was trying to get out as fast as I could. Jen McKinley did win the challenge, however, because I was out fishing on the 6th, which is the exact day she guessed, and I caught a bass. So, there was fishable ice for that day. But yeah, now it's kind of going to take a crap. So I'm pulling myself back. This week I'm going to try to dedicate to hunting. I might get out steelhead fishing. Who knows? I know the steelhead are in the rivers real good right now, so might get out and do that this week. But for the most part, I'm going to just think hunting this week and try to put ice on the back burner until we get some good ice. So yep, I agree, Rob. Yeah, we need a solid week of 0 or better for sure. Yeah, maybe. That'd be cool, John. I mean, I don't have anything like that. I've want before I even get one for hunting, I want to get something like that for ice fishing because I walk usually when I'm ice fishing, it's nothing to walk a mile in a day. So, yeah, having something like that would be great. Especially I like to fish on Saginaw Bay. Can't fish the bay without a quad or something. You got to get a long way out there to get to any kind of depth, and that's where the fish are. So, yeah, basically getting out there is worthless without a quad. And yeah, and I am learning. I want to tell you this: you guys know I've got a car because the truck and van broke down this year. I can fit everything in the car, ice fishing wise, including my giant jet sled. However, very tight fit, very tight. So getting my girls in there is going to be a really tough deal with all the other stuff. Yeah, let me know when you're up, Dre. Let me know when you're up, man. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want a three-wheeler though. I mean, yes, three-wheeler's fine for like hauling deer and that, but I don't know, out on the bay and stuff, these guys I just don't know if a three would pull it. I mean, you got to pull on the ice and slick and sounds good, Paul. Sounds good, buddy. Yeah, I'm not counting on your area too much. I mean, it's great if it happens, but yeah, you should try to get up here because just like last year, you didn't really have ice, but just a really short period. So if you want to get on some ice, you probably have to get up here. I'm actually thinking myself about going up to the UP before long with just my dogs. Maybe going up and ice camping because they do have ice up there. I know they do. I've been seeing a lot of videos and stuff of people up there. This weather is destroying the ice, HFT. It's not good at all. the ice wasn't that great to begin with. It was just getting there. If we could have had a couple more freezing days, I think we would have been 3 inches or better on most places. However, with this warm up, it not only did it eat away the snow, which is kind of a good thing, but then you get that water on top of the ice, and that's not a good thing. So between that and all the snow that we just recently got, we didn't get as much here as they did in like Grayling and stuff like that. But you get all that snow melt, and then you're just adding water on top of the ice. It's not good. Not good when it's thin. You know, if we had a foot or more of ice, I wouldn't have been worried about it. But yeah, this is not good at all for our first ice. And you know, last year I try not to give my hopes up because honestly, guys, last year we went through this exact same process. The exact same. I mean, last year I did the same. I went through my videos. I was doing ice checks for you guys. I was feeling good. All of a sudden we lost it. And I don't think I got on the ice last year till the second week of January. And that's disgusting. That really is because I am used to always being on the ice in December. Past few years, however, have just been crap, and it's been, you know, getting worse and worse as the years go on. I'm just really starting to. I was finally feeling the other day that you know having faith in it because we had our ice, but I don't know the way it's going again. Not sure, guys, but all I can do is hope. That's all we can do. I'm really hoping that I'll at least be on the ice in the next week or so. Next weekend, however, is the late duck season. So if we don't have fishable ice by then, I'm probably going to be duck hunting. It's a 2-day season that we have every year, the second week of December. So I'm probably going to try to get in on that. But again, it depends. I mean, it all depends on not only if there is ice, because some of my duck spots might be froze up and can't get in there, but also, you know, if there's not ice, then I'm good to go with the ducks. But yeah, we definitely need better weather though, HFT. This is not good. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it's definitely not good. Nothing's going right now for the ice season. So everything was looking good. I know, like I said, if you want to ice fish, you can always go. You've got late, you know, you've got up in the UP, they definitely got ice. Minnesota, Wisconsin, they've got ice. Nicole Stone, she's been out on it. She did say in her videos that um, the ice is kind of thin up that way. They're actually making it, they're not allowed to take vehicles on the ice right now. They like set a law up there just because it's too thin right now, but it's thick enough to fish. They've been out there fishing. The only thing is, though, most Minnesota folks are used to driving out because you get out to the, I guess that's where all the better spots are, kind of like Saginaw Bay. They can just drive right out to them. So now they're stuck in spots that aren't as good and they're not catching very many fish. But yep, late ducks coming. And I'll tell you, I have been seeing a lot of beautiful birds right now. The mallards, I mean, there's just millions of mallards right now. The golden eyes, hooded mergansers. The other day I did shoot on, I think it was the last day of duck season, which was last weekend, last Sunday. I did shoot my first ever red-breasted merganser, which I was pretty excited about. I know some people are just, oh, merganser, they're fish duck, but red breasteds are really pretty. I've never shot one. They're a little bit rare for us. We've got them, but they're more rare than hoodeds and commons. So yeah. And I did. I don't think I told you guys, but on the last day of duck season, I shot a squirrel that I'm going to be getting mounted. So I'm pretty excited about that. My friend that mounted the gadwall up there and my smallmouth and the bluegill, he's already gonna. He was talking to me about mounting my squirrel. It's a fox squirrel, but it's mixed with a gray squirrel. It's got really pretty colors on it. So yeah, gonna be a good one. Lots of mallards still up in Petoskey. Yeah, see that's the cool thing. We had, you know, they're at the end of season. You might, if you're a duck hunter, whiskey, you'll probably agree with me. I feel like they need to push the seasons up. I understand that we're only allowed a 2-month season nationwide. That's the federal duck rule. However, I feel like they need to push the duck season further ahead because by the time our our main push of ducks come in, it's usually the end of season or it's over, and that sucks. You know, a lot of those mallards right now, they are flight birds. They're beautiful Canadian mallards. I shot two last week, and one of them was a triple curl, the other a double. They were absolutely gorgeous. Yep, mountable memories, Rob. Yep, he's going to be mounting the squirrel for me, and I'd really like to have a squirrel done. You know, because not just because I squirrel hunt a lot, but because it's something like that would just look great on the wall. Same in Ohio. You mean the 2-month thing, or you think they should change it? Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely. Thanks, Neil. I figured you duck hunters would agree with me because it's ridiculous. You know, I mean, they open our season pretty much the first month. Almost the whole month is nothing but our locals, and there's not that many. People go out, blast the crap out of them, then you're out of them. Yes, you've got woodies. The woodies and teal migrate early, so you've got those. But you know, if they bump the season up, I think a lot of us would get out and have just way better, not only more beautiful birds because they fill out by then, but we'd be shooting a lot more birds. That's for sure. And that's another thing. You know, why do they open the season when a lot of our birds aren't even filled out yet? Like the mallards. I mean, opening day here, opening first couple weeks, you're going to be shooting mallards that the drakes are not going to look much like drakes. You really have to know your birds when you're shooting those birds because a lot of them don't look good. So it's really, I don't know. It's something I feel like they should have changed a long time ago. It does, yeah. There's nothing we can do about that though, Brian. I mean, like I said, the 2-month season thing, that's federal. That's every state in the US that duck hunts, that's all we're allowed is 2 months. I wish I don't see why we couldn't have longer. There's not that many of us duck hunters. Yes, I know there's a bunch, but there's not enough where they should worry about it like that. We're not out shooting punt guns like they did back in the day. I absolutely hate that. You know, a lot of us actually care about conservation, and I feel like they could definitely give us, if they're not going to bump the season up later, they could at least give us a little longer on it. Yeah, they're expensive, John. That's the thing. It's not cheap, and you know it's actually way more nowadays. Everything taxidermy wise went ridiculous. I'm talking like $900 for deer heads, and oh, it's crazy. I remember when I was younger, I couldn't afford the 250 or something for a deer head, but nowadays it's 250 for a squirrel. Yeah, like, ugh. They have always done it years back. The season was over Thanksgiving. Well, if they did it back then over Thanksgiving, they must have had it open even earlier then because it's always been 2 months. That's all we're allowed is the 2 months. But I think they need to change that. Yeah, that's true, Neil. But again, you know, if our winters progress like this, if it keeps going this way where our winters just, you know, we're not frozen up for another month or two, they need to do they should push the ducks up for us. They really should. Fox and gray. Yeah, the colors were I've never seen one like this. And what makes it funner for me is I shot it while I'm duck hunting, you know, squirrels yelling at me. I tell Rick, hey, Rick and John, I'm like, I'm gonna bust that thing if you don't stop it, turn them, boom. Ends up being one of the prettiest squirrels I've ever gotten. So the fact that it's you know, a really pretty cool looking squirrel, and also that I was duck hunting when I got it just makes it that much cooler. But yeah, he's got red. He actually has red lines down his white belly. It's pretty. Youth and veterans hunt duck and deer. Oh, I don't know if you want to open that can, HFT. Uh, I can't say I'm against it because honestly, youth duck is how I got into it to begin with. However, I feel like it should open up later than they do because, especially with the youth hunt, you are shooting very early birds. This year, when the youth season opened, we still had birds like geese that couldn't fly yet. So, talk about shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think, you know, they've got the hunting ages down young enough right now where to me it's scary, but at that point they don't really need a youth season. I mean, the kids are already hunting with their dads anyway on opening day. So why let them go out and shoot the early birds when they can just shoot them with the rest of us? Lines coming up the side of its face. See, I should have taken a picture. It's in my freezer because, like I said, right away I messaged my buddy Matt at Mountable Memories, and I said, "Dude, I've got a really cool squirrel. Could you mount it for me?" And he said, "Yeah." So I hurried up. It's in a gallon freezer bag in the freezer, and it's going to look good. It's going to look real good back there. I was hoping to get a duck this year to get mounted, but well, unless I get one next weekend. But yeah, the squirrel is what I feel like I'm getting done. So, well, I'm going to hop off of here, guys. I appreciate all of you for getting on tonight, even the one spammer that I blocked. Thanks for, putting more numbers on my count. Thank you guys very much, though. Again, stay off the ice for the time being, please, unless you go UP or further west. You got to be careful. So, again, love y'all. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next weekend. And, yeah, stay safe.